Water is life. It covers 70% of our planet, makes up 60% of our bodies, and without it, we simply cease to exist. We tend to think of rivers as these serene, beautiful pathways of civilization, places to swim, fish, and relax. But sometimes, nature decides to flip the script. There are waterways on this planet that don't want to sustain you. They want to erase you. Whether it's what's living in the water or the chemistry of the water itself, these places are essentially liquid graves. So, buckle up and put on your life vest. Let's start with the mildly terrifying and slowly work our way towards the stuff of absolute nightmares. This is the countdown of the most dangerous rivers in the world. And trust me, you'll want to stick around for number 1. It is a place so extreme that for centuries, science didn't even believe it existed. A river that will literally cook you from the inside out. Number 8. The Alien Stream. We are starting in Andalusia, Spain, with the Rio Tinto. If you were to stand on its banks, you might think you've accidentally been teleported to Mars. The water here isn't blue, or even muddy brown. It is a vibrant, terrifying blood red. For over 5,000 years, humans have been digging around this river for gold, copper, and silver. From the ancient Romans to modern corporations, we just couldn't leave it alone. The result? The runoff has turned this river into a cocktail of heavy metals with a pH level of 2. To put that in perspective, that's not water anymore. That is flowing battery acid. If you dip your hand in here, you aren't getting wet. You're getting a chemical burn. It's so toxic that NASA actually uses this river as a testing ground to simulate life on extraterrestrial planets. But here is where it gets interesting. It's not just the pollution making it red. The river is home to extremophile bacteria that feed on iron and sulfides. These things are literally eating metal and churning out acid as waste. It is a river of biological warfare. So, if you're planning a vacation to Spain, maybe skip the swim here, unless you brought a hazmat suit instead of a bikini. Number 7. The Plastic Choke. Let's move to West Java, Indonesia, to the Citarum River. Imagine a river where you can walk across the surface without getting your feet wet, not because of a miracle, but because you are walking on a solid, meter-thick layer of garbage. This was once a paradise. Now, it's often cited as the most polluted river on Earth. You have local fishermen taking their boats out, not to catch fish, but to scavenge for plastic bottles, shoes, and maybe the occasional headless Barbie doll. But the visible trash is actually the clean part. The real horror is invisible. Over 2,000 textile factories line this river. For years, they've been dumping lead, mercury, and arsenic directly into the water supply. The water turns different colors depending on what fashion trend is being dyed that day. And yet, 28 million people still rely on this water for rice paddies and bathing. It's a slow-motion tragedy. If you are wearing fast fashion right now, there is a non-zero chance that this river died just to dye your shirt blue. Number 6. The River of the Dead. The Ganges in India is a place of massive contradiction. It is the holiest river in the world for Hindus, believed to cleanse the soul of all sins. But physically, it is a biological catastrophe. Picture this. You are on the famous steps of Varanasi. It's a spiritual, beautiful scene with candles and incense. But then you look down at the water. Floating past a pilgrim who is brushing their teeth is a bloated, half-burned human body. The fecal coliform bacteria levels here are sometimes 100 times higher than the government's safe limit. We are talking about dysentery, cholera, and hepatitis flowing freely downstream. But why the bodies? Tradition dictates that bodies should be cremated on the banks and the ashes spread in the river, but wood is expensive. Many poor families can't afford a full cremation, so they often consign their loved ones to the river whole, or only partially burned. It creates a paradox that is hard to wrap your head around. Millions of people seeking spiritual salvation in water that is actively trying to kill them. Holy water? Maybe, but I wouldn't recommend turning it into wine. Number 5. The Green Hell. You knew this was coming. The Amazon River. It holds 20% of the world's fresh water and approximately 100% of the things that haunt your dreams. If you fall into the Amazon, drowning is the least of your worries. The menu of death here is extensive. You've got electric eels that can hit you with 600 volts, enough to stop a human heart. You've got bull sharks, yes, sharks that swim all the way upriver from the ocean. You've got anacondas that can squeeze the air out of you like a tube of toothpaste. But the scariest thing in the Amazon isn't the big monsters. It's the little one. Let's talk about the candiru. It's a tiny, translucent, parasitic catfish. Legend and some very uncomfortable medical reports say that this little guy is attracted to urine. If you pee in the water, it can swim up the stream and lodge itself inside your, well, let's just say, the exit ramp. Once it's in, it extends barbs so it can't be pulled out. You need surgery to remove it. In the Amazon, size doesn't matter. You aren't the top of the food chain here. You're just a floating snack with anxiety. Number 4. The abyss. If the Amazon is the wide, green hell, the Congo River in Central Africa is the deep, dark abyss. This is the deepest river on Earth. In some places, the riverbed drops to 720 feet. That's 220 meters. You could hide a skyscraper underwater here. Because of the sheer volume of water being forced through narrow canyons, the currents are terrifying. The water moves at 30 miles per hour, creating whirlpools that don't just spin, they suck. They can pull small boats down into the darkness, never to be seen again. It is so extreme that it actually changed evolution. The river is such a powerful barrier that fish on one bank evolved into completely different species than the fish on the other bank, simply because they can never, ever cross to the other side. It's the heart of darkness for a reason. Falling in here isn't just drowning, it's being fed to the planet. Number 3. The monster's dining room. Now, let's head to the Nile. But we aren't here for the pyramids. We are here for a serial killer. Most rivers on this list are dangerous because of nature or pollution. The Ruzizi River, which feeds into Lake Tanganyika, was dangerous because of him. His name was Gustave. Gustave was a Nile crocodile, but calling him a crocodile feels like an insult. He was a dinosaur. He was 20 feet long and weighed 2,000 pounds. Local legends say he killed over 300 people. And the terrifying part? He didn't always eat them. Witnesses claim Gustave would kill humans for sport, leaving the bodies uneaten just to send a message. But why was he so aggressive? The dark theory is that during the civil wars in Burundi, bodies were dumped into the river. Gustave developed a taste for human flesh. He realized we are slow, soft, and crunchy. He has been shot with machine guns. He has been hit with grenades. He survived it all. He was never caught. For all we know, he's still out there, waiting in the reeds. We worry about sharks, but crocodiles are the ones who actually see us as part of the buffet. Number 2. The nature trap. This one is my personal nightmare. It's the River Wharf in Yorkshire, England, specifically a spot called the Bolton Strid. If you look at footage of it, you'll laugh. It looks like a beautiful, innocent little creek bubbling through the woods. It's narrow enough that you think you could jump across it. Do not jump. If you miss, you die. It has a reported 100% fatality rate for those who fall in. Here is the twist. The river didn't actually get narrow. It got deep. The massive river wharf flips sideways here, forced through a narrow gap in the rocks. Below the surface, there is a deep network of underwater caverns and undercut rocks. If you slip, you aren't washed downstream. You are sucked downward and pinned under the rock ledges by the sheer force of the current. There is a tragic story of a honeymoon couple visiting the Strid. The bride slipped. The groom jumped in to save her. They both vanished instantly. No splashing, no screaming, just gone. Their bodies weren't found for days. The Bolton Strid is nature's most successful mousetrap, and we are the mice. Number 1, the boiling nightmare. And finally, we reach the top of the list, the river that shouldn't exist. For centuries, indigenous people in the Peruvian Amazon spoke of a river that burns from below. Scientists dismissed it as a myth. Rivers can't boil unless there's a volcano nearby, they said, and there are no volcanoes in that part of the Amazon. Well, in 2011, a geoscientist named Andres Russo went to look for it, and he found it. The Shanay-Timpishka. The air there smells like sulfur. Steam rises above the jungle canopy like a forest fire. When you reach the bank, the water is bubbling. The temperature can reach nearly 100 degrees Celsius. That is 212 degrees Fahrenheit. It is literally boiling. This isn't a warm bath. If a small animal falls in, death is instantaneous. The heat is so intense that the eyes cook first, turning milky white. Then the proteins in the muscles break down. You don't drown in this river. You are poached. The reason? A massive geothermal fault line deep within the earth allows superheated water to shoot up to the surface at incredible speeds. It is a tear in the earth's crust. This isn't a river. It's a soup pot. And God left the burner on high. So, there you have it. From invisible radiation and microscopic parasites to giant lizards and boiling water. We spend our lives looking for water, settling near it, needing it to survive. It's a humbling reminder that we are just guests on this planet. Nature is beautiful, sure, but it is not our friend. It is indifferent. And if you step in the wrong spot, it will swallow you whole without a second thought. Which of these terrified you the most? I'm voting for the boiling one, but the idea of being pinned underwater at the Bolton Strid is a close second. Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this countdown of doom, hit that like button so the algorithm doesn't drown this video. Stay safe, stay dry, and I'll see you in the next one.